I'm Lisa Olson. I'm a tech integrator in the district. So I've been in the district for starting my 30th year. Just kind of crazy to make it sound like that seems so long, but I taught middle school before that, middle school ELL and social studies before that. And then I've been a tech integrator going on my 8th year now. And Tom King is here. He's also a tech integrator. Tom, you want to introduce yourself?
Well, then I can't multitask, but sure. My name's Tom King. I'm what Lisa said, for the most part, tech integrator. I've been in the district for about 140 years, and I will be answering questions in the chat window.
All right, so we are here doing WeVideo Basics. So we are hoping that we're starting from the very beginning, where if you don't have an account or haven't activated your account, that's one of the things that we're going to be helping you get going today. Tom did thankfully remember to record this because not everybody can attend today with us. So if you don't want your face shown on the recording, you can mute your camera and then your face will not appear. But otherwise, everybody, it'll just show mostly what we're showing on screen. So, but you do have a choice with that. So, all right. So I'm going to paste that in there one more time. And the way this works, Tom's going to be answering questions. So if you have any questions, if I went too fast or you missed something, please type it into the chat on the right-hand side. And if there's something that is big that I missed or something that Tom needs to stop me for, that's exactly what he'll do. He'll stop me and we'll address it for everybody all at the same time. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you see that link on the right-hand side, please open that up so you can kind of follow along with what we're doing today. The first thing that I want to start off talking about is Screencastify versus WeVideo. A lot of people talk about Screencastify. I know I've attended a lot of professional learning outside of the district where people often refer to how easy it is to Screencastify. And screencastifying is very easy. I agree with that. And what it's basically doing is it's recording your screen. It'll also record your voice and can record a little picture-in-picture, things of that nature. Screencastify is on our district approved list, so you're more than welcome to use it. However, it is only approved for the free version. The Green Bay School District is not even interested in pursuing a license with Screencastify because we have WeVideo. We have a paid-for subscription to WeVideo. WeVideo does the same things that Screencastify does, so it'd be a waste of money to purchase two resources that are virtually going to give you the same end result. The difference with WeVideo is it has more capability of video editing than Screencastify. So Screencastify only has that screen recording feature, whereas WeVideo allows you to bring in media, images, videos you've taken, recordings you have, and edit them.
Maybe I'll put my around.
We've got 71 people joining us today, so if everyone could just double check and make sure your microphones are muted so we don't get a whole lot of feedback, that would be awesome. So I've got a little table here that shows the difference between WeVideo and Screencastify, and both, as you can see, are on the approved list. WeVideo is a premium paid-for version. There is a WeVideo account available for every student and staff member. So keep that in mind. Screencastify is just a free version. In WeVideo, you have so much time given to you for finished videos. I've been using it for several years, and I'll show you in a little bit. I'm not even close to coming towards maxing out. Whereas Screencastify does give you a limit. The free version gives you a limit on how many hours of finished recording that you have. Both will do that picture-in-picture, or Diane Dersh used to be CIO, and she would often send out videos, and she called them the talking head videos. So you'd see like the Google Slides, and then you'd see the people talking. Both WeVideo and Screencastify do that. Both save to your Google Drive. And another difference that we'll see is that WeVideo is supported by our library media specialists and our tech integrators, whereas Screencastify is not a priority for our library media specialists and our tech integrators because it's not that premium account. So you might not receive the same level of support for what we know about Screencastify as you would with WeVideo. And lastly, which I think is a really big deal, is in our 7th grade computer applications classes district-wide, WeVideo is taught to our 7th grade students. So if you teach 8th grade or above, there's a high likelihood if they've been in school since 7th grade that your students are already. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Your students are already going to know how to use WeVideo. They won't have had exposure to Screencastify most likely. So,
Hey,
all
Lisa,
right.
I think
Yes.
since you're in charge of this, I think you can mute people.
I am trying, and I'm not successful, and I'm not sure why. Lori Hippis, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but if you could mute your microphone. I've been trying to mute it, and it says you're the only one that can mute yourself, and I'm not sure why that is. For teachers, typically, I will let you know, though, teachers, if you're doing a Google Meet with your students, you can mute them. So if somebody forgets or isn't sure how to do the muting, but it's not allowing me to mute Lori today. So, all right. I'm not sure if she is hearing me or not. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on. And I'm going to just paste that one more time in there so you can follow along. And I'm going to start sharing my screen so I can show you how we get started. Oops, let's see. All right, there we go. Bring it down just a little bit. All right.
Not seeing it yet.
Oh, you're not seeing it? It says it's sharing. All right, let me stop sharing and try it again.
Still no.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, now it's grayed out for me. It thinks I'm still sharing for some reason. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the meet. I think I need to reset, and I will be right back. All right, so I'm back, and I'm trying to share my screen again, and hopefully, is that going to pop up for you now? Okay.
Yep, you got it.
Okay,
It's coming now.
fantastic. All right, so I'm already, oh, there we go. I'm going to show you how I would get at this just from the very beginning. So there's a couple ways to get into WeVideo. I can open up just a blank tab, and I can go ahead and just type in WeVideo, and it'll pop up for me. And then it'll take me to a login screen. And you might notice on the directions that are linked that you'll want to make sure you choose sign in with Google. That's a really important piece of this. Now, for me, I didn't have to because it's remembering me each time. But if you haven't done this before, you want to make sure that that's the piece you're choosing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and show you another way to get in here. I'm going to open up a fresh tab again. I'm going to click on that house that's to the left of the Omnibuyer where I just put in that URL. And I'm going to click on that house, and that house takes me to ClassLink Launchpad. So it's another way that I can find WeVideo. I think I just saw a question. Tom, was that something I need to stop for? Oh, no, you're good.
No, go ahead. I'm typing an answer. If somebody wants a bigger view. And
In my search here, I'm going to search for WeVideo. It's going to pop up. It's in the folder. Whoops. And then you might see this screen, might say welcome back, or it might say that you're new, starting new. And again, mine went right through it, but you might have noticed that there was a sign in with Google section. Don't sign in with Facebook. Don't sign in with Microsoft. Make sure you're choosing sign in with Google. And the reason that this is the important piece is because we want it to sync with your Google account. The accounts that we have in the school district are associated with your Google account. So if you're just creating it with your email, that's not a sync. That's not bringing it to your Google account. When you choose sign in with Google, you may also get a pop-up window that says, WeVideo wants to see your Google Drive and your mail and things like that. And you want to allow that. The reason you want to allow that is by allowing, it'll send you an email when your video is completed, and it'll put it in your Google Drive. So you want all of those things to happen. So it all starts with signing in with Google and then allowing WeVideo access to your Google Drive. Now, I know that we spend a lot of time talking to staff about digital safety, digital citizenship, a lot of things about how to be careful that your account doesn't get hacked. This particular case, WeVideo, we have a district contract with them. So in that contract, it allows us to have our Google Drive sync with WeVideo, right? So everything is totally safe. When the district tells you that this is an account that is paid for, then you can just assume that that is a safe account for you, and in this case, also the students to be using, okay? So, all right. Now, when I log in, when you log in, it'll take you directly to your dashboard, right? In this dashboard, yours might look a little different. I think because of the type of account I have on the left side, my time available. You probably won't see that. I hear that from a lot of people, that they don't see that. So that's totally fine. But you will see the create a new, start with a template. And if you've been in WeVideo before and started something, you'll see the things that you've already done under recent edits. All right. So across the top are more tabs. So I've got my dashboard. That's where you'll spend most of your time. That's where you'll start. Projects. This would be maybe if you're working collaboratively with someone else. You have projects that you've worked, that you've started and other people have worked with, would be here. So not super likely right now. Media.
Hey, Lisa?
Yeah.
Can we go back 1 second? You may have done this. I'm not sure. Can you just show how to verify that they're in the Green Bay account?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, good point. So over here on the right, I see my picture. So I'm going to click on my picture and I'm going to go to my account settings. So for a lot of people, this is where you'll see your storage that you've used versus what you have. So mine says that I've used 70 hours out of 22,500 hours. So for using this for several years, I still have a ton of time left. But up here by my profile picture, it says that I'm a member of the Green Bay Area Public Schools. And I've had my account for probably about 7 years probably. And so I don't remember if I put my profile picture in there or if that's because it would sync with my Google. So I'm not sure about that, but it's my Google profile picture. And I feel like it came with when I did the sync. So, but yeah, that's where you can see how much time you have and see if yours is with your Green Bay School District. All right, so then the other thing is if I click on the bell for the notifications, this is where I found that I've uploaded a video, and this is where it told me that that video was done uploading. I don't really spend a whole lot of time looking at the notifications because I get an email notification, and that helps me more. But the question mark, this is kind of nice. That's, kind of universal for a way to get some help. So there are resources that WeVideo has. they actually have a fantastic YouTube channel. And in the directions that I shared, I have a link to that YouTube channel. I think it is these directions where it kind of shows you how to get started. And down in the bottom is that WeVideo YouTube channel. Okay. So I'm going to go back to WeVideo. And I think all right, there we go. All right, so I'm back on my dashboard. So Tom, are we having a lot of people that are not in a GBAPS paid for account?
We have 3, and I'm guessing I told them to go back into that document I linked again, and at least one of them had a free version, so I told him to use the join with an existing account side. The other 2, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Yep. So thank goodness Tom is here to help us.
Hey, Lisa, real quick, do you know offhand if where we stand on the number of licenses available? I know we were short
well,
last
they
week.
upped it last spring, and she upped it by a few thousand.
So we should be good. So this should work for everybody.
Yep. But if not, we'll have to let her know so she can purchase some more. Yeah. But we should be good. All right. So we talked about the dashboard and the projects and all of those things. And so let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and go down to create a new and talk about these. So this is new. So if you have used WeVideo but not in a while, you'll notice that you have more ways to start it new. It used to be just start a new, and that was your only choice, and you started a new video. So that's this particular choice here. If you've used it, this is what you're used to seeing. Starting a new recording, this is going to jump right into the camera and either camera or microphone recording. So it'll give you the choice of recording your screen, recording your webcam, or with both, or just audio. So that's what that recording one is. This is a template to create a GIF, and a GIF is one of those real short video that just repeats itself and has some type of saying. So I know that there are some silly ones out there of like a baby, you know, being all excited, and it'll say something like, you know, when you find out that your meeting got canceled or something like that. So you can create a GIF. It's also really fun if you wanted to have your students create a GIF. You know, if you're studying, if you're in social studies and you're talking about American history, you could have them create a GIF about how the colonists felt with the Declaration of Independence or something like that. So that would be a fun activity for the kids. And podcast is just going to be that audio recording. So if you just wanted to do an audio recording, you could choose podcast. You wouldn't have to worry about any cameras or anything like that. But we're going to do video because this is, I think, the most commonly used way to create something new. All right, so the first thing it does is what if I want to put it in a category. So when we looked at projects earlier, I had several different project categories. I usually just start in my project, and maybe if I have something like might be an online learning project, you know, it might be something that we did for Safe Schools. I taught Minecraft in summer school a few years ago, so it might be, you might choose what project it is that way. I'm just going to keep it generic with my project for today. I can always move it later. And then I choose Start Editing. All right, so I have quite a bit of media organized into folders and some not organized into folders. So that's what you see right here as soon as you get started. You might not have very much media yet, and that's absolutely fine. You'll grow that over time. And if you don't have it organized into folders, then it's going to look like this. You'll have some that, if it has a timestamp up here, tells you how long that video is. If it doesn't have a timestamp, like this one is just an image. It's just a still image that is being brought in. So you can tell if it's a video versus if it's a still image right in there. Okay. Then there are also audio files that look like this. You've got that audio wave in there. And these are things that I've brought in from a variety of ways. Discovery Ed has a lot of videos that are editable. So if you find a Discovery Ed video that you want to show your students, you can actually bring that into WeVideo if it's editable. Remember, that's the key. You can bring that into WeVideo and you can cut out maybe a 3 or 5 second snippet that you want to use with your students in WeVideo. You can record something on your phone. A few years ago, I was in Georgia. I went to the Georgia Aquarium, or the Atlanta Aquarium, I don't know what it's called. And I recorded several different of the aquarium with like the whale shark and things like that. Recorded those right on my phone, and then I brought those into WeVideo. Then when I've done some different fun activities with students, I might use green screening, and then I don't have to worry about if I'm stealing something from the internet. I know I'm the one that took the video, so I have all the rights to use it. And then I'll do some green screen activity with video that I took on my camera. Right? So there's a whole variety of ways that you can get your media in here. Right? So let's see, that's the media. I'm going to show you the most common ways that people get started. Import was just what I was saying. If you wanted to import something from your phone or from your, if you downloaded it to your desktop of your computer, you would choose import. Right? I can also import from my Google Drive. So if I choose browse to select, it's going to take me to my computer's hard drive and my desktop. So I'm going to click on that. It's taking a second here. And so let's say that I want to have this picture from ClassLink Launchpad. I'm going to double click on that, and it's going to start importing that for me. So I'm still in my media, and now it's importing. And it's got the blue border around it. And when it has that blue border, that tells me it's buffering. And I see now there's a bar underneath, and that bar is moving a little bit. And when that bar stops moving, there we go. Now I have a static picture. So now I know that this picture is done being imported, and I can bring it down and put it in my timeline. So these are my timelines down here. All right, so I just brought in a picture that was sitting on my desktop. Very simple. I just chose import, found it on my desktop, or found it maybe in one of your other drives, and then just choose import. Now I'm going to import something from my Google Drive. All right, so not browse to select, but down here in the bottom left, I'm going to choose my Google Drive. It's going to bring me out to that Google Drive, to my drive, and I can choose something that's in the shared drive also. But I'm going to say I'm going to grab something from here. I know there's a nice picture, and I'm just going to double click on that, something from the Pesh to Go Fire, and now that's going to start importing. It's going to go all the way down to the bottom. That's usually where it goes. Yep, so imported all the way down here on the bottom. It's going to get that blue bar. It's going to get that rolling bar across the bottom. Oh, now I want to see where it goes. There it is. And it's going to get that rolling bar, and then it's going to, when it's all done, like it's already finished. So now that is ready. And I can just click that, and I drag it down here, and I put it right after my other picture that I brought in. So that's how I can import things. Video works the same way as just a static image. You just import it. A video is going to take longer, and I mentioned this in the directions a couple times. If you're bringing in a video, give it twice as long to import as the length of the video. So if I am pulling in a video that I found in Discovery Ed, and it's a 7-minute video, it's going to be buffering here in my media for probably 14 to 15 minutes. It might get done sooner, but the average is about twice as long. And I know it gets very frustrating to people because they think something went wrong, but give it that amount of time. I have had to finish videos that were an hour long, and it has taken over 2 hours to finish that import of those videos. So keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated. Don't feel like you did something wrong. It really does take that long. The good news is, while it's buffering in here, you can actually leave. You can go cook dinner if it's going to take 2 hours. You can work in another tab. You can do other things. You don't have to stay there and watch that and for the 2 hours. It might tell you to reload, so just do that every now and then. Check on it. You might need to reload WeVideo. That's totally normal. It's still uploading. I've even done it at night and then let it go all night and come back in the morning and it's finished. So just give it that time. Don't give up. All right. How are we doing, Tom?
Good. Those directions, the old tried and true two-sided directions for existing and new users.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I think the link works on there better, or it worked for a couple people at least.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. All right. All right. So that's how we import some stuff. All right. And I hope everybody's successfully getting into their WeVideo accounts. All right. The next thing, which is what a lot of you are going to be doing, you're going to be recording your lessons. So I'm going to show you how you would do that. And I could very easily see that you might want to import a PDF of a worksheet or directions or a rubric even. If something you're going to talk about, you would import that, put it down here in this video line, and then you can record over it. That's one option. So we're going to talk about recording. Whoops, I'm going to go right here to record. I have 3 choices. I can record just on the webcam on my computer. I can record my computer screen, or I can do the screen and my webcam so that you see my talking head video. All right. But for right now, I'm going to choose webcam because I want you to see the options, and then we'll try each of them. So if I choose webcam, all right, that's highlighted in gray, I choose next, and it's going to give me choices of cameras to use. So right now I have a hover cam with me, so it defaulted to my hover cam. I don't want to use that hover cam. I want to use my regular camera on the top of my computer screen. All right, the integrated 5M camera, I'm going to show you that one just in case so you know what that one is. That one is the camera that's above my keyboard. All right, so you're looking at my ceiling right now if I chose that integrated 5M. Probably not what you want, but maybe if you have your laptop tinted, that might be what you're looking for. If I want the camera above my screen, that's going to be the integrated, just the regular integrated camera. And it's going to be, so I'm looking right at the computer screen. Snap camera is something that I added, so you don't need to worry about that. All right, so I'm going to choose the regular integrated camera. And then there are some different microphones to choose. I have, like I said, I have a hover cam. I like the way the hover cam sound comes through. So that's what I typically choose. If you don't have a hover cam, you could choose a headset that you might have. I know I have a headset often plugged into my dock. You could do just the regular, this is the regular, the Realtek is the microphone that comes on the laptop. But I'm going to go ahead and choose that hover cam microphone. So I've got the camera I want. I've got the microphone I want. I'm going to choose start recording. It's going to count down for me. I usually pause a little. That gives me some editing space if I wanted to put text in there or cut something off. If a mistake early on, a lot of times I don't even stop. I just keep on recording, and then I can come back and I can edit my mistake out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to it. Yep, it's exactly what I want. If it's not, I can choose record again in the bottom left. Otherwise, if it's what I want, I'm going to choose save. And we're going to see that upload into my WeVideo just like we did earlier. It's going to have the blue bar around it. It's going to get that also that rolling bar that tells me that it is buffering and loading. Tells me that I spoke for 18 seconds or I recorded for 18 seconds in there. So I've got that. All right, and everything is going to just load, and I can't edit it. Like if I wanted to trim something off, I can't do any of that until after this blue bar is done scrolling and it's all done loading for me. Okay. So, yep, now it's done. So if I wanted to edit this, I could edit this. I had the movie head that's going to go through here, show where I am in this. So let's say I messed up and I want to get rid of the first couple seconds. And I know I played it and it's like, okay, right here is where I started over. So what I'm going to do is there's these little scissors up here. I'm going to click on these little scissors and then trimming that clip. Now, the good news is I can trim the clip. It only is being trimmed down here in my timeline. The original recording with the mess up is still up here in my media. So you could always take something and use part now and maybe part in another spot or on a later time. But if I want to get rid of this, I need to make sure it has the orange bars around it or border around it. And then I can either hit the trash can, click on these 3 lines, hit the trash can, or I can just hit the backspace button and now it's gone. And I'm just going to take this, I'm going to grab it, I'm going to slide it over to the left. And now it's like that flub up at the beginning never happened. Nobody will see it, nobody will hear it. It's like it didn't even exist. I can even do the same thing at the end. I can get to the end here and I can be like, okay, this is where I stopped. I'm going to hit the scissors. This was extra stuff that I don't want anymore. Boom, get rid of that. Now that ending is gone too. Okay? So you can tweak that and get rid of the stuff that you don't want anymore. All right, so that was how I recorded my screen. All right, I'm going to leave the playhead right here because I'm going to add something onto the end. Only this time, I'm sorry, that was the webcam. This time I'm going to record my screen. All right, so I'm going to come in here, choose just the screen. I'm going to say next. Now I don't need to worry about a camera. I'm just going to be using the microphone. So again, I'm going to go ahead and pick my HoverCam one. I'm going to say next. I have 2 windows open. So I'm going to record, well, we'll record this one. And so it's going to say share. All right, and it counted down for me. And then now it's recording my screen and everything I say on my screen. I'm going to choose stop sharing. Just like when you're sharing in Google Meet, you get that stop sharing button. All right, so I can watch it and see if I like it or not. I like it. I think it's perfect. So I'm going to choose save. And now same thing. That's going to sit here. It's going to buffer and load. And when it's how I want it to be, I'll be able to do trimming, editing, whatever it is that I want. Remember, this time was just my screen and I didn't have my picture in there. All right. Now, the next option I have is I can.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah.
I was not paying attention. We're not seeing your screen anymore. Is that intentional or?
Did I choose to? I wonder if I stopped sharing my. Oh, I did. I stopped sharing the wrong thing. I thought I stopped sharing my recording, but I stopped sharing the Google Meet. All right, now we'll bring back at you. Thanks for saying something. All right, is that better? All right, good. Okay, so, all right, we didn't get too far at least, so it just brought it right down in here. It showed up in my media, had the blue bar until it was ready, and then I could bring it down. So perfect right there. I'm going to move this player head to the end there, and I'm going to do the third option of recording, which is this time I'm going to do the screen and the webcam. So this is where you're going to get that talking head video. So this might be nice, especially with our elementary students, where you really, it makes a big difference when they see your face. I think high schoolers are probably like, you know, some of them could really, you know, they'll be fine. They don't like maybe need to see you as much as I think a lot of the little kids do. So it becomes a little bit more important. So I'm going to choose the screen and webcam. I'm going to say next. So now I'm going to pick that same camera. I'm going to pick my microphone, and you might be fine with what it defaults to. That's totally fine. All right, I'm going to say next. All right, this time I'm going to record what's on the Google Meet with you guys. I'm going to share that. It's counting down for me. All right, and now I'm recording, and I'm, the microphone, how to hang up, and here's the video camera. And make sure I stop sharing the right one. Yep, the WeVideo stop sharing. Okay, so now it's showing me two things. This is what my webcam looked like. This is what the screen recording looked like. So I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to sound like a broken record because it's going to go up into my media. It's going to have the blue bar around it. It's going to show that it's buffering. I talked for 12 seconds. So maybe take 20 seconds or so, 25, somewhere in there for that to finish. And then it's going to look really different when I bring it down. It's going to actually show in two separate lines of the timeline. So it's going to show basically one on top of the other. And this is where it takes a little bit more editing, because otherwise they're going to cover each other up. The top one's going to cover up the screen recording is going to cover up the I'm sorry, my face is going to cover up the whole screen recording. So it's showing up here. We see that we've got two things going. That should be ready in a second. I'm going to go ahead and bring the talking head into video 2 line. I'm going to go ahead and bring this one down. It'll be, whoops. All right, so now there they are. So I've got one on top of the other. The problem is they're the same size. I need to make my head smaller, and I can choose wherever on the screen I want that to be. So I'm going to edit this one. So anytime you're editing video, picture, text, anything, you need to have those gold bars, those gold handles around it. Right? So I'm going to take this one. When I click on it, I get my editing tools. The first one is the pencil. So the pencil is a universal symbol for the ability to edit. So I'm going to click on that pencil because now I'm going to be editing that top video. All right. Now, it's probably hard for you to see, but when I look at this picture, there's the blue border around it, but each corner has a white box. Now, if you think back to what you know about working with your Google Docs and presentation and PowerPoint and Word and all of those, when you get those handlebars around it with the white boxes in the corner, you drag one of those white boxes and you can make it smaller. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to this corner, click on it, drag it, and I'm making my talking head smaller. Now you can see what was behind it. And I can put my head anywhere on the screen. I can make my head as big as I want it to be. You don't want it real big because you don't need to see me like that. But so I can make that talking head anywhere, maybe the bottom right corner, wherever it is that you want it to be. All right. This is where I have tons of things that I can do to edit this talking head video. But really the one that for this, the practical time right now, is I can either use this sliding scale in the middle, or I think it's just as easy to just grab the handlebars from the corner and adjust it to whatever size I want. So you have a choice. You can do whatever you want. If I did this on my phone, because you can use WeVideo on your phone. So if you recorded something on your phone and it came in the wrong way, I have this rotation feature where I can rotate it to show how I want it to look. If you have something written and then maybe like on your shirt or on a document that you wanted to show the kids and you realize that the writing is all backwards, I can flip it. So I'm just going to flip it right here. Now it's going the opposite direction. So now you'd be able to show the writing in the correct way. Okay. Fit, this is where if it's not the right size, it's going to stretch that picture to fit the whole screen. And here I did my scale and positioning. Think about those of you that are math teachers, your X and your Y axis. I can decide specifically for where you want that picture-in-picture to go using the X and Y axis. But I am not that good with my X and Y axis. I'm just going to move it around with my mouse. I think that's easier for me. All right, when I'm happy with how I want it, I'm going to go ahead and come down here, and I'm going to say Save Changes. And it doesn't look any different in my timeline, but when I play it, and over here, it looks fine. It's fine. I've got my picture-in-picture this in front of the bigger image that I wanted people to see. All right, so those are the three main ways you're going to be recording. All right, I'll take a pause here and answer any questions. I think those are kind of the three main basic things that you'll want to know. Yeah, these recordings are all going to be in the Google Classroom. Yep, for sure. Once I bring it into WeVideo and edit some of it down a little bit and get rid of the stuff we don't need. All right.
Lisa, I think we're good on questions. There are a couple people, for whatever reason, whichever of the two cameras they choose on their laptop points at the screen, or the ceiling, sorry.
Oh.
Not quite sure why.
Even if it's not the integrated 5M, it's the regular integrated, it's still doing that, huh?
Yes.
Okay, that's weird. And did you guys talk about putting in a ticket for those weird things that happen?
Yeah, they're gonna troubleshoot afterwards and then email me if it's still a problem.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. All right. Thanks, Tom. All right. So now these are the basics. That's just recording your video, and that's a good way to get you started. You've got your screen recording, you've got your camera recording, you've got both, however you want to do it. Now you can do some things to make it fun and more interesting for the students to watch. So there are some cool things you can do. So let's say, all right, right here, I've got my picture-in-picture. I want to add, there's something I want them to see. I want them to see where it says stop sharing, right? So the students need to see that in my video. I'm going to come over here. I need to add another line. So where I've got audio 1, video 2, I'm going to click on the plus sign. And now I'm going to choose video. And I've got video 3, and it's blank. There's nothing in it. So I can add text. I can add circles and arrows and call outs. I can add anything that I want to here. Right? So I'm going to bring this back a little bit. And so I worked with my media. Now I'm going to look at the text options. So I'm going to click on text. And this is another huge advantage of having the paid premium license versus the free. There are maybe 15 choices with the free WeVideo, and there are hundreds of choices of texts when you have the paid version. So the text features are divided up into motion. So these are texts that are going to move. Static, so these are texts that just are there. They don't do any moving. It appears and it disappears when it's done. And then these are holiday ones, you know, graduation, 4th of July, Halloween, Christmas, things like that. And then the call outs. So these are where if you're ever watching a tutorial video and you see the red circle or a blue circle or whatever come on the screen to show you something or an arrow, this is how that's done. All right, so I'm going to bring in a circle, and it just defaults to how long it thinks I want it. I don't have to leave it there that long. So I'm going to shorten it up because on this particular video, I want it to maybe line up with Google or with the ClassLink Launchpad video. And so here I've got that circle sitting on top of my ClassLink Launchpad, right? So to move this circle in the right spot, I first have to click on it so I get those gold bars around it. Then I'm going to find the pencil, that universal editing tool, right? So now I can edit my circle. It's telling me that it's red. I can change the color. So I want to probably find a color that's going to pop out. I can do yellow. I can do whatever color that I want, right? Notice it also has those little handlebars around each side. I can grab a handlebar and shrink down my circle. Make it, instead of an oval, make it a little bit more of a circle. And then when I get those crosshairs, now I can move it. So if I get just the diagonal arrow, that's where I'm going to be moving this, changing the size. But when I get those crosshairs, now I can move that circle and I can focus on a particular spot. So maybe in this case, I want to point out brain pop. So I just bring in that circle. Again, there's your X and Y axis. The stroke here, can you see how it's making that circle fatter? All right, so that I can make it fatter and skinnier there. And then if
Lisa, would you like me to explain the X and Y and why it makes the oval different?
Okay, math teacher, that'd be great.
I'm kidding. Everybody would fall asleep immediately.
I just ignore it because I'm not a math teacher.
I think making it fatter and thinner is a very good way to describe the oval.
Excellent. That's the social studies teacher's version of how to use that. So, but when we've got these three boxes, what this is doing is this is animating that, which would make that move. All right, so I'm not going to make my circle move. I'm just going to leave it right there. All right, and then when I'm done and I'm happy with it, I'm going to do save changes. So now when I play this part and I get my video, there's my circle. Now, I do want to point out, if I want to make sure that this is lining up just right, down in the bottom right corner, when I slide this, there's a plus and a minus. When I slide this over to the plus side and stretch that out a little bit, I can really fine tune this down to the 100th of a second to make sure that that circle is exactly where I want it to be. And it leaves exactly when I want it to leave. So this is where, when you hear that it takes 1 hour of editing for every 1 minute of finished video, this is why. So people like me that sit here and stretch it out and try to make sure that everything is down to the 100th of a second exactly how I want it to be, this is why it takes so long. It does not have to take so long. You're making videos, and some of you are going to be making a video every single day. It does not have to be this fine-tuned, okay? It's just nice to know that that feature is available. So now to bring it and be more compact, I'm going to slide it back towards the minus sign a little bit more so I can see everything in there. All right, so that was the shape. Another thing I can bring out is maybe I can bring out a pointer call out. So in this case, I've still got my picture in picture. I've got the video of you guys in the Google Meet, but now I want to point out maybe a particular person. So I brought that in. I'm going to click on that pencil to edit this. And I've got a lot more choices now because not only do I have a box, I have the arrow where it can point and everything that I can do with it. So I'm going to move this here. I'm going to grab a corner and make it smaller. I'm going to put out, and I'm going to say, I'm going to point out where Tom King is. And I can change the colors and the font right in here. So it's a white background. I can maybe change this to a pale yellow background. I can change the color of my font. I can make it bold, underlined. I can change it from this font to something different. There's tons of things you can do, play around. I'm going to grab that pointer and I'm going to point it where I want it to be pointing so I can point out that there's our wonderful Tom King in our Google Meet with us. So you can do it to label something. You can do it to, you know, just bring anything to light. And if I hit that X there, it makes the background transparent. All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. It's hard to see what I had right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back in here. It's hard to see because of the busy background, but you might want to not have there be a color behind it. Okay, so let's see if I have it exactly the way I want it. I've putzed around with all this kind of stuff. I do save changes, and there we go. I can even add another layer. I come over here, I hit the plus sign, and now I want to bring in an arrow to something else. I click on the edit, and now, boom, I am highlighting, which I think is probably Mike from MacArthur. All right, so now I'm drawing an arrow to somebody else that's in our Google Meet. All right, so you can do this as much as you want. You just need to keep hitting the plus sign. I have not ever maxed it out with how many lines you can add, so I don't know if there is a max, but that's how you can draw some attention, make it maybe a little bit more fun. I'm going to go back to the motion text because this is all taking place in text. So another fun thing that you could do is, these are all, like, here's a fun one. It looks like it's maybe like fireworks exploding. So we'll put that in here, and I'm going to edit that. And I can change it to maybe red fireworks. And it's got 3 lines. So let's say I want to say, maybe I only want 2 lines. So I have to hit the space bar here. Otherwise, if I didn't, then that the default words would be in there. I'm going to say I love WeVideo, save the changes, and when I play that, you're still going to hear the sound.
That gives me some editing space.
That graphic that's going to appear up on top of that. Okay? So lots of text. You can put text at the beginning. You can put text at the end. And then the last thing that I really want to talk about are transitions. So if you're putting in different video clips or different documents or images in between, it's nice to have some type of transition so that it just doesn't go from picture to picture. There'll be something that makes it a little bit more smooth. There are lots of transitions in here, so you can have something very colorful. You can have something very simple. My go-to are the top 4, and I will bring one down. I put it right in between those first 2 pictures that I brought in. And now, when I play this picture, and to get into the next picture, you're going to just see it's just going to kind of fade from one picture into the next. And then I might bring the next one down, and it'll go from the picture, and it'll fade into that video that started playing. All right, so you can bring those transitions in. They're just really slick. But they make it look really nice, and they're super simple to just throw in there, okay? But they're kind of fun also to maybe start before. Let me bring this one. Okay, I'm going to bring in a transition that's at the very beginning of our presentation, and so it's going to, oh, it didn't ask me. Usually it has to push. So it kind of looks like you're opening the curtains at the theater. So that's kind of a fun one. All right, but I could also have, some type of fun introduction that would be at the beginning. And I'm going to try to bring this down here. I'm going to try to insert it at the beginning. All right, I already had stuff in there. So it's asking me if I want to insert this and push everything back, right? So I'm going to say, yep, I want it to do that. So it just inserted and pushed everything in that timeline back. So now what I need to do is notice that these 2 are not lined up anymore. And these 2 aren't lined up, and either are the arrows and the other things that were all originally lined up. So instead of moving everything by itself, I'm going to hold down the control key, and these are the ones I want moved. So I'm going to hold them down, and I'm going to move them all at the same time. Whoops. Oh. Well, I wonder why it's not letting me move that stuff. Oh my goodness. I've never had this happen before. I don't know why it's doing that. Well, that's how it always works, other than right now. So maybe let me try moving just one of them and see if. Okay, I can move one. Now let me try moving these three. All right. Well, I guess, I don't know. It was being finicky for whatever reason today. So I was able to get it to finally go. So, all right. Well, we're at the end. I want to make sure to leave time if there are any other questions or anything you want me to show you before we're done.
Just because I'm tired of typing, can you go over that that setting when they first export and emphasize, who am I talking to here? Chris? No, Carrie. Emphasize how easy it is to have WeVideo just plop it down in the drive. And also, if you're familiar, if they forget that setting, can you show just how to go to exports, download it to their computer, and then upload it to their Google Drive?
I'm actually going to get rid of some of these things, and it'll export a lot faster. So I'm just going to export something that, there we go. This will work a lot faster. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to finish. I'm going to name it. Whoops. All right. So you can choose a thumbnail, so I can have whatever when it pops up in my Google Drive, what picture I'm going to see. All right. I named it up here. SD is a lower quality than HD. Choose HD because it is a better quality. In this case, I'm going to delete it right away anyway, so I'm not going to choose HD. But I suggest you do HD just because it really it'll appear much better for the students. It's going to automatically store it in WeVideo for me, but I want to make sure to choose Google Drive. If I don't choose this, then it's not going to end up in my Google Drive, and then I'd have to upload it and do some other things. So just choose this right away. And then I say export. And remember, it's going to take about twice as long. And this is a 15-second video, so it's not going to take very long at all. And then when I'm done, I'll get a notification on the bell. I'll get an email sent to me, and it'll appear in my Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Google Drive because I don't have to sit and watch that. I'm going to open up my Google Drive so I can show you where that's going to show up at. I'm going to go ahead and go to my recent because then as soon as it's ready, it'll be in the most recent things that I've worked with. And it should be there pretty soon. I'm going to come back to WeVideo. Let's see where it's at in the process. So, oh, looks like it's done. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go back into this one. See what's going on with it. Well, okay, there it did appear. All right, there it is. So it's got the WeVideo, what I named it, .mp4. Now it's got just that image, which is the Google icon for a video. But after it's done uploading into my Google Drive, you'll see the thumbnail that you chose. So I chose that Peshtigo Fire as my thumbnail. That's actually what I'll see when it's completely finished with the process. But my video is done. It's been exported to my Google Drive. You automatically get a folder created the first time that you export something, and you'll eventually find them in that WeVideo folder. So I'll go ahead and search for my WeVideo folder. All right, here it is. If I open that up, I'm going to see all the WeVideos that I have created over the years, or especially recently. So, all right, so that's where they live. And they also are still living inside WeVideo. They're still here. All right, so there it is. I can go back to, I'm going to go back to my dashboard. And this is the one I just did. And if I realize I need to change something, I can always go back and edit. And then if I choose finish and I keep the same name, the update will replace what I just put in my Google Drive. So if I want the old one and I want the new one changed, I would need to rename it in that finish process. So think of just like any document. When you save it, it's going to replace what was there before, unless you change the name. All right. How we doing? Anything else you want me to show?
Kate just asked about green screen or changing the background. I don't know if you have any green screen stock video handy, Lisa.
Let me see. I'm sure I do. So when you're think about that whole layering process, like we just did, you know what? I'm going to go into the one that I was just working on because I want you to think about that layering process. I'm going to say edit, so I'm going to go back into this one. Even though it's finished, it's okay. I had the picture that was the recording of the Google Meet, and then on top of it was the small picture of me talking, right? And then the arrows and stuff on top of that. So think of those layers when you're bringing something in from green screen. All right, I'm going to get rid of that one. And, okay, so let's see if I can find something that's green screen. These are the ones that I haven't organized yet. Okay, here we go. All right, there's somebody with the green screen. All right, so, oh, nope, I did it backwards. Okay. So what we want in the background is the fish. So this is one of those that I took from the Georgia Aquarium. So the fish are in the background. The person is on top, but it's taking up the whole picture, and I don't want to, I don't want to make her smaller and still have the green. I want to get rid of the green, right? So I'm going to click on that so I get the orange bars around it. I'm going to click on the pencil. And then this time I'm going to choose, instead of the rotate and the flip and all that, this time I'm going to choose the color keying. Okay, that's what it's called, is color keying. So I'm going to click on the green fabric. Oops, I'm going to click on my eyedropper. Click on the green fabric, and it's going to match that color green for me. All right, so I'm going to try that again. I'm going to cancel that. I'm in the green screen piece because this is the one that I want to get rid of the green background. So I'm going to click on the pencil to edit this video. I need to be in the color keying. It starts off in this transform part. So just kind of hover over. This one is just color. This one says color keying. So click on that. Plus it's got the little person, so it might kind of looks like a person in the green screen. I click on the eyedropper. It gives me the eyedropper over here. I click on a green spot. And now it got rid of all the green background. All right. I also actually think that I want to make that smaller because she was kind of out of the picture a little bit. All right, so I can bring that down. There we go, that's better. And then I can save changes. And now you can see that it looks like she's swimming with the fishes. All right, so I don't know how much green screening you're doing in your house, but it's this easy to do it with the students. And what's ironic is even our 4th and 5th graders know how to do this stuff. So keep that in mind.
Lisa, one thing, and you may have mentioned this, it's called green screen, and if you're used to using Apple's iMovie, it has to be a green screen or blue. The nice thing about WeVideo and that eyedropper is you can use any solid color wall in your house.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be green or blue.
That's true. I forget about that all the time, Tom. That's a really good point. Just you want, like you said, you want to make sure it's a solid color because that eyedropper is going to get rid of only one color. And the weird, you know, when you go back to the picture that I was working with, let me get, well, you can still see the dark shadows because I didn't iron my green screen. So I think using any solid color wall is a good idea. Just make sure your clothes don't have the same color in it. Really good point. Anything else that I can do for you guys before we stop?
Yes, Kate has a question she would like you to answer.
Okay.
She asks, what raster settings do you suggest?
What's?
Raster settings. I think when you went into that color keying, I think raster is one of the options. And I just said I have no idea. Maybe it's in one of the other settings. I'm kind of being facetious here. I don't think most of us know what the heck that is.
I don't even know that word. I thought you said wrestler. I thought I was talking to my grandma. We're talking about wrestling.
I'm thinking it has to do with the different color contrasts and brightness and stuff like that. But
yeah, I don't have any idea. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I think the nice thing is when you make a change, you can see what it looks like and accept it or not. Renee has a question. Screen capture recording. Can you show us where this is again?
Say it again. Screen capture recording.
Yeah, that first, when you click on record and you get the 3 options for what you want to record.
All right. I'll go in here to record. And the screen and webcam?
I think she's more interested in just the webcam. I made the comment in the chat that most teachers will usually use the the screen capture.
Yeah.
I think there are a few, like maybe Phi-Ed teachers might use the webcam so they can demonstrate like something physical.
Yeah.
For the average teacher wanting to show something under their AVER, until we get back in the classroom, I think they're going to want to use the screen capture function.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I don't like to use the screen and the webcam because I don't think people need to see me. I think they just need to see what I'm talking about. But I do know that a lot of our kinder, 4K, first grade, things like that, I know that they have expressed that it's very important that the kids see their face right off the bat. So I totally get why they would want to do that. I don't know if it's as critical for the middle and high school teachers. I do think it's a good idea for them to see you on occasion, for sure. But I don't. I think it's just whatever is going to meet your style.
Lisa, I would ask one more thing. I'm trying the 2-column directions is way up in the chat when I'm looking for the link. But that is for any of the teachers that want their kids to get involved in creation. You might find that some of them already have WeVideo accounts, but that document with the 2 columns is what, I'm trying to multitask. That's what you would just give to your students through Classroom or Seesaw, however. And that will get them into the district account.
Yeah, absolutely.
Putting the link in the chat window now. So if you want to just bookmark or save that document, if you decide you want to use this with your kids, start just like Lisa started with getting into the subscription. Start with this document and getting your students into the subscription before you get in. At that point, some of the students will be able to help you explain how to use it probably.
Yeah, if you're dealing with anybody that's 8th grade and up, they probably don't need this. They just will jump right in. They know exactly what to do. But if you're working with the younger kids, yeah, this is the way to start. Yep. And yeah, these directions are great. I'll have to double check my link and grab the link from here and put it in these directions. So these are just a little bit different for today. No, these were different ones yet. These were from before. All right. Anything else we can help you with? All right, well, thank you guys so much. And, reach out to your library media specialist or your tech integrator if you want some more help. Again, this is going to be found in Google Classroom, so you can always rewatch parts if you need to rewatch some of the parts more than others. But thanks so much for learning about WeVideo. I know Tom and I use it a lot, and so do the rest of the tech integrators. And so it's a lot of fun to get in here and play with it and learn new things. And at 1 o'clock, I'm going to be doing the stock media and templates. And I've just been having a blast with using that kind of stuff. They have millions of clips and images in the stock media. So I'm just blown away by what they have. It makes it a lot easier to do some of the to have some of the kids do the projects. They don't have to upload or do research. They can find stock media to do a lot of what they need. So, and same with you. So, all right. Well, thanks so much.